Hey guys, 1258 here. We're going to get into some frequently asked questions from the channel as well as live questions from members. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can follow me on the community page of the YouTube channel. We have various levels which have increased access to either me or to content I'm creating. Additionally, you at silver or higher, you can request to become an intern for the Time and Attention Guild. And so if that's interesting to you guys, check it out. And otherwise, just hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's queue up another one. I got another question here. Question from One Day You. He says, "Love your insights. I'm quite new to the game, and your videos have been helping me a lot. I know you already made a video in regards to renting cards, but with the market dip, is there a strategy for renting? I'd like some specific information or strategies that you use to rent cards." Okay, so we can comment on that. We'll spend a few minutes on that. How to maximize your returns from the rental market. There are ways. First thing is, shout out Luke. You want to go check out Luke Plays to Earn. He's always aiming at providing a lot of service to newer players his channel logo is a krill for make the point. And yeah, he's got a lot of interesting insights on how to maximize your rewards for your time and attention at that lower level. But I do also, and I would say that some of the things that I would try would be to, let me finish this team selection first. Go that way. Okay. One of the things I would try would be to I'd be focusing on summoners first. That's always my advice, whether it's building a deck or renting a deck. You need to choose your summoners before you choose your monsters, because the summoner level is going to depict which monster levels you can play with. And so, and like I said earlier to Shingo and to Jim, what you need to focus on is really getting the most bang for your dollar, as opposed to the most meta summoner. And so, you can start things off by looking at each summoner that you're at all interested in. Maybe you don't want Mother Kella at all, but if you're interested in it, then go ahead and look at which editions, or sorry, how many copies are available, and then amongst those copies, what levels are available. Do you have the money to support a gold level deck rental? Okay, then you're going to be looking for level 6 summoners of the rare quality, and then when you're looking for level 6, of course you can utilize the filters on the side here, and that is very helpful. It'll make things a lot easier. You can go level 6, or you can go max, and here we go. So level 6 Mother Kala, there are only 12 copies at that level. That's not very many. $23 DEC per day for that one. The Malrek at the similar level, 21, 144, 144, 24. Anything in the 24 range seems like it's a pretty reasonable price for that level of summoner. Yeah, so you can get a pretty standard rare summoner. There's probably 3 or 4 options there I think I showed that were around the 23 to 24 cent range. Not cents, DEC. Malrek was surprisingly the cheapest. So then, right then and there, I would book in, if I felt okay with fire, I would book in Malrek. I'd get him in the team, and I'm going to book him for as long as I can. As long as my vision is, like, if I want him for, a week, book him for the week. Don't try and, I've heard some people rent for a day, take a day off, and they play a lot, and then they take a day off and they rent for a day, and I guess that can be cheaper, but it's so much more work, and your time is money, right? Your time is worth something. That's the whole thing about my channel. It's important to understand your time is worth something, and that when you invest your time and attention in an act, if you're not getting anything out of it, whether it's joy or money, what are you doing? And so every time you spend time in here looking at these rental markets, it's like, you know, it's wasted work unless you're really going to be able to put the cards to work afterwards. And so I prefer renting for longer periods of time, and, you know, even well beyond a season will be fine with me, especially if you find the right price. As we just pointed out, if you were fixated on level 6 and there were around 20 DC, all of them, if there was one around 10 DC, you know, that happens where it's super cheap, then I would go ahead and just rent that for, you know, 30 days or something like that. And you probably already know, but you can put in bids. You know, if you have DEC, you can put in bids and you can establish a bid on any card, and that's going to allow you to, you know, as soon as that card comes up at that price, you're going to take it. So those are 2 tips I would utilize to get you need to know what level you're going for. You got to focus on the summoner first. Use the bid buy or bid rent section functionality to really take advantage of filling out your deck, and then focus on one splinter at a time. Don't get distracted by, you know, thinking all the monsters you love. You need to become disinterested in what monsters and summoners you have, and become fixated on what the value to reward opportunity is. If Malric is the cheapest, Malric's your summoner. I don't care if he's alpha, I don't care if he's beta, I don't care if he's like, that's what you're rolling with. And then you're gonna look through fire, and you're gonna look for tanks first, carry cards second, and support cards third. And tank cards are obviously the ones that go in the first position, that have a huge hit pool and usually have something like shield or self-heal or void armor, something like that. That makes them a tank. They're resilient. Maybe they have phase and a lot of speed also. Something that makes them stay alive longer, that's a tank. And in the secondary position, you're going to need something like a carry card with a lot of DPS, maybe a high magic damage monster or high archery damage monster, or a secondary tank that hits like a truck, like the Gorlodon on the black team. In the third, fourth, maybe fifth position, you're going to want support monsters. So these are monsters that are going to provide healing or repair. Maybe they offer silence or affliction, slow or inspire. These can be beneficial pros to your team or nerfs to your opponent. It doesn't matter. Those are support monsters. They usually are squishy. They're less important. They're absolutely important, but they're less important than your tanks and your carry cards. If you understand that way of looking at the game, then I think you're going to be able to better explore what monsters will help you win. And then with that in the back of your mind, put aside all that you think you know about what's a good card, what's meta, and just take on the process from a literally zeros and ones perspective. Okay, I need a tank. I'm looking at fire. What tanks are there available at, say, the level 6 range? You probably want level 8 if you're playing in gold, because I guess it depends what rarity you're looking at. But you can narrow down like level 8 commons, level, I think it's 5 rare, and so on and so forth. And look, you can even specify, look, I'd be willing to look at level 8 common, level 5 rare, and so on and so forth, so that you get like the most dialed in data that you would possibly ever want. And then again, we're going through and we're just looking for the best DC per day. And you can shuffle right there, right at the top of the column. This guy's relatively cheap, Jin Apprentice. That's a good card. I'm going to add that to the pool. Exploding Rats, that's not really a carry card or a tank, so I'm going to skip it. And so on. That's how I would do it, okay? If that's what you're already doing, I think you just need to practice that process, because it absolutely is a skill to be able to think on your feet and quickly decide what tanks, what monsters could I use in the tank position that maybe are going to be less effective, but way cheaper. Because that's a thing. There are cards out there that are going to be a great price, and they're going to have a good amount of utility. And when you weigh the utility versus the price, you end up saying, oh, I need that. So that's how I would say you need to rethink your approach to rentals.